How did you start picking something to work on?
Well, I started out with Joe Keller, but I wanted to compute. So somewhere along the line, I switched to Peter, and I talked also to Herb Keller a bit. And basically, I was interested in finding a computational project. And I found one. I listened to someone give a talk about thermal convection, which is a big topic at the time. And it described some experiment. The Weather Bureau wanted to predict thermal inversions. So that when the air circulates well, the warm air on the ground rises and takes the pollution away with it. And they had this idea that if you put a thermometer on the Empire State Building at the top and one at the bottom, if there is an inversion, the top will be warmer than the bottom, and they could predict it early in the morning. But they realized that the temperature was higher at the top, regardless of whether there was inversion or not. So there was a big question which people tried to solve asymptotics, and they weren't getting any answers. And it seemed to me to be a project, something you can do numerically. And Peter gave me a bunch of papers by people trying to compute things like that, and I read them and started working. And it came up with the artificial compressibility.
Can you describe a bit more about that method?
Well, that idea is very simple. The big difficulty in incompressible flow, which of course the atmosphere is at those speeds, is that there's a constraint, which is the fluid is incompressible, and that's not a dynamical constraint. It has to be imposed on the outside, and that was giving people difficulty. And the way I solved it in this particular project is to make the equation of continuity artificially time-dependent by adding a density term with a coefficient, with very small coefficient, which made everything time-dependent, and then trying to see what the limiting solutions are like. But if you look at steady solutions, the perturbation doesn't matter; it vanishes. So that's the idea, and that was something of a breakthrough at the time, and it's still widely cited. So it's a good thesis.
What was the longest computer program you ran at the time?
Oh, I ran I don't remember. I don't count it. I ran very long programs because I did everything. There were no libraries available. So I did the Gaussian elimination. I did the ODE solvers. I mean, so I did everything from scratch. So they're long programs.
And did they take 10 minutes to run or 2 hours? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Well, they're quite long. Also, of course, you're not running yourself. What the system was, you took your cards and gave it to the woman at the desk in the computing center, and then she'll call you when they were ready a day or two later, and I had no idea how long it actually took. I ran cards for a long time, as I'm sure you remember.
Yes, I used them. I used paper tapes as well, but still, it's not for anything serious. You worked on this as your thesis, and what was it like then? Are you giving talks, or you're sending out papers or drafts to people? What was it like?
Same as now. I gave talks, I talked to people, and tried to publish stuff.
So when Peter said, or when they said, would you like a postdoc here, had you been considering going someplace else, or it hadn't even occurred to you that there was an afterwards?
I was assuming I'd have to go somewhere. And the notion that I could stick around at Courant was really, really extraordinarily pleasant. There are lots of great people there.
Now you've gotten a PhD, and so you're hired as a postdoc, right?
Yes.
Does that mean there's a world of, did they have a Courant instructor at the time?
No.
Did you have to teach?
No, for the first 3 years I didn't have to teach. I didn't teach. I just sat in my office and wrote programs. That was very pleasant years.